Joe. That was very inspiring, and we appreciate it very much. My story of TIE, the series My Story, is where we are now. It is my privilege to introduce our main speaker for tonight, Mark Swanson. Mark Swanson is a serial entrepreneur who has successfully started and grown 6 multi-million-dollar businesses over the last 21 years, 22, right? Most recently, Mark was the CEO of Tampa-based Televisions, a 2-time Inc. 500 company, which he co-founded in 2006 and sold to Bright House Networks in 2012. Mark bootstrapped his first business while transitioning out of the Army and has subsequently raised over $70 million in venture capital to launch technology companies in Atlanta, Silicon Valley, and in Tampa Bay. Mark started his career in the United States Army, where he led several military units, including forming the first unit of Apache attack helicopters. Later, he managed high-tech test development projects as a military test pilot. Mark's industry recognition includes several Inc. 500 awards, Fast 50 awards, Tampa Bay Entrepreneur of the Year, New Media Envision Award, 5 Webby Awards, Ernst & Young International Business Plan Award, 3 Emmy Awards, and New York City's Champions of Technology Award. Mark sits on several boards, is a former member of the Young Presidents Organization, and the founder and past chairman of the Georgia Electronic Commerce Association. Mark graduated from the United States Military Academy at West Point with a degree in computer engineering and holds a Master of Science degree in technology management from the Georgia Institute of Technology. In a conversation, Mark Swanson told me that what gives him greatest pride is to see his employees quit their positions to launch new companies. He is an entrepreneurial evangelist. Mark Swanson, thank you very much. Please start with the story.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, it's a really great pleasure of mine to be here speaking in front of TIE. I think the Indian culture produces so many great entrepreneurs, and some of my dear friends out in Silicon Valley are Indian entrepreneurs, and I'm very excited to be here talking to you. In a way, given all your collective success, I don't even feel worthy. When the first Iraq War happened in 2000 or 1990, I was actually getting ready to get out of the military then, and they put a stop order on anybody getting out, and because Saddam Hussein invaded Kuwait in August 2nd, 1990. And my out date was on September 30th, 1990, and I had 60 days leave. So I was literally out processing. And this is how I actually became a test pilot. So what ended up happening was we had this big exercise that was working and getting ready, and I was happy to hand off the entire control of this exercise to my replacement. And so I got stuck into coming back into the unit, waiting to see what was going to happen. And this big exercise had all these National Guard units flying in or traveling to Fort Hood, Texas, and doing these maneuvers. And they put a stop on all this travel because of budget restraints. And I'd been reading about this technology. It was internet, IP and stuff like this, and the wide area networks, and this device called a radio wire interface. And so I had this idea that said, why, instead of traveling to our location, why can't they just go out in the field where they're at? And we had units in Kansas and in New Mexico, in Kentucky. Instead of all of them coming, we would save money and create a temporary wide area network to connect these radio wire interfaces where you talk on the radio in Texas, it turns it into IP, translates it, moves it all the way across to another state, puts it on a radio there, and they're out in their tents, and you give these instructions. And then I actually wrote a software program that would take grid coordinates in Kentucky and transpose them to grid coordinates in Iraq. And so everybody used Iraq as a base map, and then when we said move to assembly area Bravo, it would transform it. Bravo was a different location on the ground in Kansas versus Kentucky. And so I thought all this up really in a fairly quick period of time. And I spent, late nights learning about networking and IP and all this stuff. And we actually, and my colonel said, I don't know about doing this. And we briefed it to the general, and he said, let's give it a try. And today, so we were the first company or unit brigade to ever do that. And today, that is the standard for the military doing remote exercises. And as a result of that, I got immersed in that technology, wide area networking, which I literally built my career on when I got out of the military. So you never know. I'm a big believer in luck. I think most of entrepreneurial success is a lot of luck. But luck is really defined as where success or where preparation meets opportunity. So because I spent the time and I was able to just think of an idea, and it was also freeing because remember, my replacement had already come in, so I didn't have a job. So that's effectively what I'm trying to replicate at Bright House. When I got there, I had most people would want to try to build an organization, and I was running around Bright House saying, hey, I got 5 people, you want to take them? And so I integrated, I literally worked my way out of a job in 6 months by integrating my unit. And now I don't show my org chart because everybody'd be jealous. But it's allowed me to work within the organization and think of new ideas creatively on how we can use the cable networks to deliver and solve problems in the next generation. So you never know what life experiences you have in your past and how they relate to the future. And I think that the biggest lesson that I've learned is those experiences that you've had and that I've had in our formative years are so important, and you can leverage those. I think you got to look back at what baggage you bring to the table and what's in your bags to really experience a great deal of success. And Diana and I are going to talk a lot about some of the companies and stuff I've done now.